All right, let's talk about cable management for a second here. If you got a laser module, a flashlight, and one or more tape switches all fighting for space up on a crowded rail, it can be a little bit difficult to also find a place to put all those cables, particularly with a switch like this. This is the Surefire SR07D-IT, something like that. Anyway, this is the dual pad, so it's got a white light button, which I always mount to the forward, and the laser button, which I mount to the rear. 2 leads, and the leads on the SR07 are probably a lot longer than they really need to be. But it doesn't really matter. You can find a place to put it. So, I've got 3 different types of cable management on this rifle to try to deal with the rat's nest of leads. Immediately behind the Surefire pad, I have a Larue index clip. These are fantastic little clips. They go onto Picatinny rail, and they have a little clip that you can stick a wire into, holds it very close to the top of the rail, reduces snag hazard, helps with routing. The downside is when you buy Larue index clips, you got to buy them in a pack of like 72. 68 or something of which are just rail covers. I guess the idea is that you cover your entire quad rail in these little plastic clips. I don't know, to reduce traction. I'm not really sure what the point of those are. So most of the bundle is garbage. You get a couple of the clips that have a overhang plastic lip, and then you get a couple clips that actually have the little loop where the wire can go into. So if you really want to do proper cable management, you're probably going to need to buy multiple packs and throw away a whole lot of plastic. So Mark, Mr. Larue, if you're watching this, please sell just the cable clip type of the index clips in like a 12 pack or something. So we're not creating quite so much waste. Anyway, this also has got a Ranger band, which is just a fancy name for a black rubber band, or a piece of like bike inner tube or whatever. That just sort of keeps the excess cables from flapping around. And there is also an Emissary Clip, which is a M-Lok attached 3D printed thing that can hold a wire in it as well. They have a couple versions of these that come in different angles depending on how you want to route the wire. Again, I think you got to buy a multiple pack of them, and they're expensive, and most of them you're not going to use. So it's not really a perfect system, but between these 3 solutions, we have a pretty trim setup of wires here. Another thing that helps is to use the DS00 tail cap, because you can rotate this basically any way that you want. We rotate it in this orientation, then the plug, the tail cap plug that the Surefire down lead goes into, is closer to the rail as opposed to sticking out. Helps just a little bit. You know, every little bit helps when it comes to cable management. Cable management is a little bit easier on this gun because we are using a pair of Modbutton Lites. Modbutton Lites and Unity hot buttons come with different available lengths of lead. So if you have a short rail and you don't really need a whole lot of wire, you can get the shorter cable versions, cut down a little bit on the mess. This still is not perfect, and once again, we're using a pair of Larue index clips. Keeps the wires out of the way, and the rest of the wire can kind of just get bunched up in the negative space between the pick sections on the quad rail. So, Larue index clips, highly recommended. They're annoying to buy, but they do work very well. Best way that I've come across to manage cable clutter on a rail. The Emissary clips work pretty well if you've got an M-Lok rail. I think they are a better design than most of the M-Lok rail covers that include cable management slots. A lot of those, not only are they very expensive and bulky, they also seem to require more length of cable to actually use properly. So if you deliberately buy longer leads than you need, and then those rail covers, you might be able to make it work. I'm not a fan of the ones that I've tried. So if you've got M-Lok rail, Emissary clips work pretty well. If you've got enough Picatinny to use the Larue index clips, definitely give those a shot. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. See you later. Get off my camera, B.